Right. So it's been a while since we spoke on the investor this Sunday night meeting, but here we are, and there's some exciting things developing. So we decided it's time to just have a session just on what's happening in the investor club. So tonight I want to talk about three things: the gig investment philosophy. Now, those of you who work through the various courses, especially the budget courses, you'll pick up on some of the courses discussed there. But we'll also talk about current gig investment opportunities and just a quick foresight as to what are we also looking at for the future. And then right at the end, there would be a time for questions and answers. Now, in terms of the investment philosophy, I want to break it up into two stages, two steps, the stages of the investor journey, and then just talk about general investment guidelines that when I speak to people, this is what I share with them. Now, when you look at the stages of the investor, remember we are talking about struggle to success to significance. Our definition of struggle is where income less expenses is a minus. Stability is where income less expenses leaves you with a plus and hopefully a growing plus. Success is where you have choices because you have 3 or more growing income streams. And then significance is where you now have your own family office, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Now, why we've started with the focus on investment rather than savings is that somehow savings doesn't grab your attention and make you emotionally excited as the word investor does. The principles are plus minus the same, although an investor thinks differently than just purely for saving. An investor has got a plan and a purpose, and he doesn't mind starting small because most big investors today started small, but he has a plan and a progress in his mind. So in terms of that, when you are in struggle, there's not much money, and much of your attention is about just surviving and slowly but increase incomes and you lower expenses. And the best you can hope for is at this stage to add your little money to the little monies of many, many people, and that is called crowdfunding. So when you are in this stage, please do start your Gig Investor Club account. It's free, it's part of your monthly membership. And then have a goal in your head to work up to at least 2,000 Rand in that account. And then from that account, as you start seeing investments coming your way, you can then spread it over the various investments of your liking. And we'll cover some of these investments shortly. But the investment options would refer to the cattle feedlot program, a new one that we've just launched, Forex. Last year we talked about gold, and then some of your own opportunities that you might already be busy with. So think of this stage of investor. I don't have much, but whatever I have, I'm going to make sure it works to the maximum by doing crowdfunding. Then when you have 2,000 or more, you now move into what we call the stability side. You're still involved with crowdfunding. You just have more options over which you can spread your money, and in time build up, get yourself a target to, I want to build up to at least 100,000 Rand in various investments. So that when we talk investment, this is money that you don't eat. You don't use it for paying bills or go on holidays or just survive on a monthly basis. This is really seeing yourself as a trustee of funds for the future and future generations. At this stage, you're still being involved with the various investment options that we have. And just by the way, you'll see there that I put there the LLS. I encourage you at an early age to as quickly as possible, build up 4,000 Rand in your LoanLink share account. Why? So that after 12 months of being a member, you can start borrowing against this up to 3 times. So at this stage, you can borrow up to 12,000 Rand And this is money that can help to accelerate your investment journey. When you're out of this stage and you've got more than 2,000 spread over different investments, you're now on this side, then the next trigger is make sure that you build up your loan-linked share account to at least 10,000, because then as a trigger, you can borrow up to 30,000 Rand. And again, spread it over different investments. And this is also a place where you can then start buying a gold coin if you want to. And then we say success. And also we say participative funding is where you use your account, or you might have now tens of thousands of Rand to invest. Then as a group of people, you could then collectively invest in a business or in some opportunity over and above the crowdfunding opportunities we bring to the table in GIG. So your options now expand. Then in success, if you have 3 or more investment streams of income, we now call you a sophisticated investor, which means you can now start taking a bit of a risk because you understand investment language. You understand how to use debt correctly. You're not falling for all the scams out there that promise you 100% return per month and that kind of thing. You understand real investments where you protect capital and where you do things correctly. Can be lucrative, but not at the rate that most of these scams are projected out there. The key things here, you now have more than 100,000 available for investment. Build it up over time so that you have up to R1 million spread over various investments. And make sure during this time that you build up your loan-linked share account to 100,000 and even more if you can. Because again, if you trigger this times 3, that's 300,000 available to you. Now, over and above the normal operations that we will bring to the bulk of the group, from time to time, there are also opportunities in property or people with businesses that are looking for working capital. And then because you're now sophisticated, you can do your own due diligence. We'll also help you with some of that, but you will now have an opportunity to start investing in some other asset classes. And then ultimately is to get to the stage of significance where you have spread over various investments. You have more than 100,000 in your loan-linked share account that you can tap into. And once you take a loan, pay it off as fast as possible. Take out another loan because this becomes an accelerator, and you still invest in most of the property, the same asset classes, you just have more momentum behind you. So that's just, if you think of the stages of the investor journey, the triggers then is look at, the beginning stages up to 2,000, the stability stage up to 100,000, success stage, million, and in the family office stage, well, obviously $1 million plus, and also let the loan-linked share be another trigger for you, 4,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 100,000 plus. All right, then in terms of further considerations, while you're in the struggle stage, focus on increasing income. This is the most important thing you can do at this stage, so that very soon you will have the 3 or more income streams. And this is where I strongly recommend, this is what changed the life of me and my wife when we became involved with New Life 40 odd years ago. It was the old gold, and they now have an incredible online system that you can literally build a business in many countries of the world from the comfort of your home, and the company does everything for you. But what we're really excited about, these products that we started to use 40 years ago, and we are still using it, and even more so. So literally by just becoming your own best customer, you can save more than 50% on your expenditure and turn it into an income producing assets. But you could also have hobbies. Maybe you're good at baking, cooking, whatever. So look at what you would have done for free. Find a way if you can commercialize it. And it doesn't matter how small you start. If you can turn baking fudge and sell it to people and make 100 Rand a month. That's fantastic. You start, and soon that 100 Rand can be tweaked to 1,000 to 10,000 and so forth. The next thing you need to do is mitigate risk. A lot of people at this stage of their lives never get off the ground because they do not take out funeral cover, and life happens. And then there's death in the family, and the family doesn't have money, and they put themselves further back. And you can now get a free will and testament from Capital Legacy through the gig system of the second membership of 140 Rand. You are covered for 30,000 Rand. And then also look at what are you currently spending money on in terms of short-term insurance. And it could well be that you save some here as well. So these are just things to keep in mind. We want to encourage you to grow your gig team. What do we mean by that? If you find benefit in the philosophy, share it with people and start recruiting people, because you are getting a referral fee income, residual, ongoing, for as long as you and those people are members of gig. So that over time can replace your current cost of membership, and you could be a member for free. But that will also lead to the next stage where you can then eventually become a legacy coach. So if you have 3 people personally recruited and 10 people in that, through those 3 people in total, then you can apply to go through the legacy coach program, and there's more income that will be unlocked for you at that stage. So here you still focus on increasing income, but what we're saying is start looking at the legacy coach program. You continue to mitigate risk. Now you look at life and disability cover. If you can afford it, look at education, look at medical. So these are also areas that can trip you up if you don't have cover in place for this. And then you become a sophisticated investor. Now, when we move on, none of these things fall away. It's there, but you add to it. Now you focus on stabilizing and protecting your income. Build a gig wealth team around you, and there you can talk to myself, Muzi, or Gavin, and we can refer you, right? A lawyer, accountant, business advisor, business specialist, etc. So start building a wealth team, and then ultimately in the family, also mitigate risk, because here you start looking at serious business, look at key person insurance, look at an employee benefit program that you can maximize tax and have good relationships, start looking at overseas investment, and very importantly, succession planning, which leads us to the family office, where the is on succession structures, and where you then ultimately can afford to appoint the gig family office specialist, and you can be free from the daily grind of survival and follow your philanthropic projects, while the gig family office specialists are looking after your family wealth. So that's just a summary of how you should look at the Gig Investor Club and the back of your mind as you move through it. Then, just in terms of general investment guidelines that I advise people on when I work with them, whatever assets you have, let's say you have 100,000 Rand, then I recommend that you allocate those assets into 4 sections. So the section is 40% of the assets, keep it in high liquidity, low risk. What we mean by that, high liquidity means I have quick access to the money. I can quickly turn my asset back into capital. And here we're looking at between 40, within 2 days up to 3 months. This is the time frame you want to put on the money. And there are opportunities, and the sort of interest that you are after, the growth that you're aiming for, is 5 to 10% per annum. Now, within GET, we have the 32-day account that is available for all our members. Then we have the market investments, which within Gig Wealth, which is our insurance company can give you access to income funds on the market where your money can be called up very readily within 48 hours to 3 months. And let's say on average with the, well, let's come back to what that 4% means. But what we say is overall, if this portion of your income effectively of your total assets 4%, we'll go through it just now. Then in the end, we say you could, just on being your own financial advisor following the strategy, probably get close to 20% per annum real return on your money. So how do you do that? The next 30%, look for liquid, still very low risk, aim for 10 to 20% per annum. And this is where you look at, and less liquid means I can get my money back as capital so I can do something else with it within 6 to 12 months. So in GIG, the bank, we've got the 6 and 12-month fixed deposits. And in the GIG Investor Club, we have access to the cattle feedlot and also the new one, Forex, that we have just launched. Then look at another 20%, less liquid, higher risk, but for higher return, 20% plus. And this is where it could be a 1 to 5 year call up. And that's mostly when you invest in your own business. And it normally takes about a year plus 2 years before you get into liquidity. But you can, once the business is established, get way more than 20% per annum effectively on your initial layout. And then 10% into high risk, high return. So the liquidity is now less of an issue here. But these are things that you don't know too much about yet. It's new ventures, but it has the potential that if it comes off, can give you 50% plus returns. And then that as a general guideline with whatever assets you have, and you review this annually, could then assure that over time, you make your assets grow by about 20% per annum. We then talk about the cattle feedlot project. So we met this group in about 2 years ago, and they have already started the project 4 years ago. And their project is they buy calves and then raise them on a professional feedlot. And then once they fatten, slaughter them, sell the meat, and repeat the cycle. So the money works then for about, you actually get a two cycles per 12-month period. And then with this project, they've achieved between 10 and 15%. And like I just said, for the last, so every 2 months, there's an intake. The minimum intake is 500 Rand. If you want to participate, we just had one in February. The next one is now in April. So we notify you once you're a GIG Investor Club member, we notify you of the intakes, and then you can participate. All right, so that's the cattle feedlot. Then the next one is we've just launched the Forex Trading Club. So I've got my friend Muzi here tonight, and I see Caesar has also joined us. So Muzi, take the floor and tell us more about it.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jasper. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so Forex Trading is the new opportunity that we've just launched, as Jasper said. But maybe before I get into the specifics, just in terms of introducing the whole concept of Forex Trading, I know most of you have either heard of it, or you might already be involved or have been involved in it in some way. Forex trading is really foreign exchange trading, whereby different currencies are traded in a global network of banks or dealers or brokers. So basically, with forex trading, there's no central exchange. It's not like when it comes to stock trading, where there's a central exchange. On Forex trading is basically a network of these entities, banks, dealers, and brokers, like I've said. As a result, it's a trading that happens 24/7, without a stop. Forex prices, they are influenced by different factors, things like interest rates, inflation, government policies, imports and exports. Typically things like what we're having now with the Russian war, that will impact on the Forex prices. Now, Forex trading is one of the most volatile markets in the world, compared to other markets. To participate, you can either trade yourself if you know what you're doing, if you're a trader, or you can invest or team up with an existing trader. Now, in terms of the opportunity that we've just launched, we have a stokvel that has been formed. The name of the stokvel is Alpha Investment Stokvel. Basically, to participate in this opportunity, you have to be a member of a stokvel as a person, or an entity can also become a member of Alpha Investment Stokvel. An entity like another stokvel or a co-op or a company or any registered entity can be a member of the stokvel. And of course, like I've said, individuals as well. Now, to become a member, it's only by invitation. And of course, for us, through the Geek Investor Club, we can then access this opportunity. Now, Alpha Investment Stokvel has entered into a long-term contract with a private trader. This trader that we've teamed up with has got years of experience in trading, and he's been trading for banks and applying different strategies and different currency pairs. As part of the rules in terms of becoming part of Alpha Investment Stokvel, when you come on board, your investment capital will be fixed. It will be unsecured. That's very important to bear in mind. And also, it will not be earning any interest while your money is invested. Now, let me explain what this means. Fixed means there will be a fixed minimum amount that you come in as an investor. Now, for you as an individual, the minimum amount that you can invest is 1,000 Rand. If you invest as an entity, the minimum amount is 10,000 Rands. And the investment term is fixed for a period of 6 months. So once you come in, you put your money in, your capital, it will be locked in for a period of 6 months. Within this period of 6 months, you cannot access your funds. And the reason for this is while the money is invested, the money is working for you. So during this period, as an investor, you will not be able to access your funds. Your capital will be unsecured. That means, the stokvel does not guarantee that your capital, it doesn't guarantee your capital, and also it doesn't guarantee that there will be a return on your capital. Now, the reason for this is simple. The Forex trading is one of the most volatile markets. So it's important that as investors, we understand that. Jasper has shown us, that table where we have to diversify our investment into different classes of risk and return. Now, the Forex trading is one of the most volatile, and therefore it is risky. So one needs to understand that, there's really no guarantee. It's interest-free. Meaning that while your money is invested, it will not be earning any interest, because remember, the stokvel is not a credit provider registered with the NCR. However, you as a member, the benefit is that you will be sharing in the trading results of the stokvel, pro rata to your personal investment. Now, again, I just want to make the point that, as I've mentioned, growth can't be guaranteed. And it's important to also note that periodic losses may occur. Now, the reason why we've decided on this model of having a 6-month trading cycle is purely to as part of a risk mitigation process. So really there's two factors that we've brought in to mitigate the risk. One is the 6-month trading cycle, because you know, in the first month, you know, things may not work as well as we expect, and then in the second month things will improve. But based on the history and the experience of the trader that we've tied up with in terms of doing this, it has been found to be a very good mitigation, risk mitigation process to rather have a 6-month trading cycle. In terms of the growth projections, each trading period of 6 months will be subjected to a unique set of market conditions. Historically, a good benchmark for investors to expect a growth of between 10 to 30% per annum. And again, this is purely based on the historical performance of the trader that we're working with. And of course, it's not guaranteed, but you can work around 10 to 30% return per annum. Due to the volatility of the market, again, consistent growth cannot be guaranteed. So just in terms of the model that we're using, our recommendation is that, you know, as a member, if you can, you participate in each investment cycle of 6 months, and then assess the collective growth over the period of 12 months to get a fair indication of you know, how your investment has performed. Over time, you can then create a fund that you can access, you know, as and when you need to tap into your funds. Yeah, basically that's the model, and that's the opportunity that we're putting on the table. Thanks, Jasper.
Thanks, Muzi. Yes, let me just get back to the share screen there. I think we basically covered that one. We'll have questions and answers just now. Let me just get back to our screen. And then gold, I will just quickly talk on gold. So we've just launched it last year, and you can buy an ounce, which roughly sells for just over 30,000 now, or half an ounce, a quarter ounce, or even smaller quantities. So we're looking at fractions of gold where we will pool it. We haven't yet put the structures in place, but the idea is then, let's say you only got about 500 Rand to invest, but there's lots, let's say 20 such people, then we will pool the money until we have enough to buy 1 ounce of gold. And then there's 32 grams of gold in an ounce. So that 32 grams will then be allocated over the people who have contributed to buy that. So you will then have an actual statement saying you have X amount of gold. That gold in time, you can call it up. It's physical gold. You can use it as collateral security against investments. Or in future, if you want to cash out again, you can cash out. So that's the gold side of it. So we'll give you more information as that happens. And just by the way, thanks Muzi for emphasizing the fact that the Forex trading doesn't guarantee growth. The reality is neither does the cattle feedlot program. Neither does any project that we will bring to you, whether it's property, whether it's a business. At best, one can look at all the components of the thing, mitigate the risk, and then take a calculated risk going forward. And that's what business is about. And that's why we want you to start having this investor mindset to learn how to look at how is the risk mitigated and how can I then gain on the upside. And part of the mitigating risk is also to have your investment spread over more than one asset class. All right, so that then is the current investment opportunities. Then just going forward, we're busy, I'm talking to some very strong in the car trading market. I was surprised when we did the homework to see that there's a 10 billion turnover per annum just on second-hand cars. But there are unique IP in this market, and we can bring this also as an opportunity to people to participate. And also the sort of annual return can be also in the region of 10 to 30%. Also the risk mitigation is very good on this project. Then in future, we don't have any specific project in mind yet, but agriculture, we're already in cattle, but there could be other variants of livestock that we could be part of, or even just in growing, producing food, many things that can happen there. Property, we constantly look at things, but you need some fair size money before you can enter into property. So in the meantime, we built an investor club. We make sure people have the money to invest, and then at the right time we launch that. And then in time, I believe we will start getting a fund going for developing small businesses and invest in the next Microsoft or the next Elon Musk that started off very, very small. So those are the things that we're investigating for the future.